Hi, my name's Josh, and I went to Europe.
My name's Sam.
Sam didn't go to Europe, but we're still here to recap the trip. Because this is the 3-time What Would You Eat for $20 champ. This is also Lord Fartimore.
So to start off our trip, we started in Santa Maria. We took a bus from Santa Maria to the LAX, the airport that we were supposed to go to. The bus driver for our bus, he had a very godlike complex. He's like, if you just feel hot or if you feel cold, I could just change the climate, which I thought was a powerful statement from him. A possibly senior quote. When we arrived in LAX, the bathrooms were a good thing that I really liked. They had a rating system outside, which is very high tech. I just wanted Elon Musk to be there himself. Here's a video of Jeff explaining that to you.
There was a little tablet that said rate your bathroom experience. And so we pressed a little frowny face and it was red. And it said we had a bad experience. There was little tiles that were describing why, and we touched all of them. Our specific complaint was there was no bathroom.
Sam, what do you think about bathrooms? Smell good. What about airport bathrooms? They also smell good. Well, there you have it. Airport bathrooms smell good. So at the LA airport, I also got to teach some kids Russian. Nathan Severin specifically, I got to teach him a bit of Russian. Also at the airport, there was a dog in a cage. Now this dog, he really wanted not to be there. He was in a cage. Mariana Torres got caught up at the airport. She had something in her luggage that we will not talk about here. At this flight, it was alright. At the Canada airport, there was some pretty interesting candy that we gave Nathan Severance, because anything we didn't want, we just gave to Nathan Severance. Joseph Fowler specifically gave him a candy, and it was alright. He rated it 8 moose out of 10 moose on the moose scale of Canada. Oh yeah, I remember that. Here's a video of Nathan explaining that. Can you please rate like those candy bars you just tasted?
Honestly, it was all kind of a blur. I'm just gonna rate all of it like 8 moose out of 10 moose.
How many new Russian words have you learned?
This sentence counts for 3. So, etu pizza, which is this is pizza, dobre. So if you say etu pizza dobre, that means this is pizza good. Or like this is good pizza, but who knows if I even put like it in the right order. Deloshit, please.
So the next flight we took to Canada, from Canada to Frankfurt, Germany was 7.5 hours. Now this one we slept on the plane, most of us, because who can stay up for 7.5 hours? Sam Bland, can you stay up for 7.5 hours? Of course. Sam Bland can stay up for 7.5 hours. Always do. So at the airport in Frankfurt, we met 2 people. That was the first time we met Michaela, and that was the first time we met Helena. Is Michaela hot? Helena was kind enough to teach us some German. She taught us Ausfahrt, which was the only German word I learned for the next day or so. Ausfahrt, which I'm pretty sure means off-ramp. That day, we also went to tour a town called Rothenburg or Rottenburger. At this particular place, there was a bunch of shops. People compared it to Solvang, which was an insult to Germany. Here, there was some chocolate that we gave Nate Severance, because like I said, we give everything to Nate Severance. He really liked it, but he thought that we needed nipples to eat chocolate, which was kind of odd. Here's a video of that.
Just eat it? Like no nipples or anything?
Nipples? Our first night in Germany, we went to this German restaurant that was pretty close to Rothenburg and pretty close to our hotel. And we had this... we had this thing to eat at the restaurant. A lot of people didn't like it. I thought it pretty slapped. Everett Justice thought it slapped. It was this bread-covered egg that we just decided to call a weird egg thing because we didn't know what to name it. But the following day, we went to a gas station in Germany. They had a particular ice cream that I was looking for called a Nogger. J. Cole actually had an auger and was making fun of the name.
Answers, bro. We out in Germany, Switzerland border. I think they f***ing slick, bro. We're not standing for this. What's going on, yo?
Internally, I felt like I needed to do that. That same day, we went to the Neuschwanstein Castle. We had good views. There was good views from the castle and good views of the castle. There was a man playing hurdy-gurdy. I didn't know what a hurdy-gurdy was until that day. He played it pretty good. We got offered to play it, but we didn't because we were late in time. We were on our way to a tour, and we had to run back. Here's the video of us running. Later, we went to downtown Munich. At downtown Munich, we were only there for a couple of hours, not that long, but we saw Tom Slater. In downtown Munich, I believe this is where Nate Severance first brushed his teeth in a German bathroom, one of many. The following day, we went to a concentration camp to Dachau. Saddening, to say the least. The only thing I had to say about, like, we got kind of yelled at for taking the tour of Dachau because apparently you aren't supposed to, but our tour guide was merely starting the tour, and there were other tour guides giving tours, full-on tours of the camp, so that was kind of whack. Joreen whack. Following that, we went to a BMW museum. There was a cafe, and Jeffrey Grasha, he got a sandwich that was not even a sandwich, it was basically a wiener in a bread. Also, near the pond, there was a pond outside the BMW museum, and there were like handprints of like famous people. So like famous people were just traveling around Germany and thought, wow, I'm gonna put my hands on the floor. So we went back to downtown Munich afterwards, and we were just walking around, and it just started raining a bit. But other than that, Munich was pretty good. Lying, they got mad at me for taking a video inside a German store, and here's a video of not me getting yelled at because I didn't have that, but me taking the video before I got yelled at.
Wow, Candyopolis.
We also, at this point, went to a cafe with Mr. Houchin, or a cafe restaurant type thing. It was called Swiggle. And at Swiggle, we thought, wow, Jason Derulo, because Jason Derulo has a song that says wiggle, wiggle now. And Nate Severance just thought he should say swiggle, swiggle. Swiggle, swiggle now.
Hey, you know the song Wiggle Wiggle Now?
Yes.
Swickle Swickle now.
So Sam Bland, have you ever gotten called out for taking a video?
Yes.
Do you want to add on to that? Or?
In the girls' bathroom.
Now let's come to that part of the video where I'm going to ask Sam a couple of questions. So, question number 3. A, no change. B, creating jobs. C, for job creation. Or D, the creation of jobs.
I think it's a no change.
The correct answer was no change.
Yay!
Now for another question. If the world had a worldwide drinking age, what should it be and why?
4.
Why do you think 4?
Well, because, you know, when you hit the toddler age, I think it's, like, appropriate to drink alcohol and, you know, get a little crazy, have some parties, some fun, you know?
I know exactly what you mean. Final question for Sam Bland for this segment. Who is Anika Gutschall?
I don't know.
Now, at this point in my trip is when I got a video message from Lizzie Mejia. And here it is now.
Hey Bosh, it's Lizzie. Just wanted to remind you that Philadelphia is a city, not a state, and I hope Europe is fine. Oh, don't fall in love. Oh, Miss Gasha loves you. Bye.
Okay, so following this, on the next day, we drove to Innsbruck. which was in Austria town.
Hitler's from Austria.
We went to a jewelry store. It was called like Swarovski or something like that. That kind of slapped. Me and Helena went to a cafe. Jeff wanted to sit with us, but he had food from another store, so he couldn't sit with us. Here's a video of that. But speaking of stores, there was a convenience store, and they sold a lot of German products, like a German Capri Sun. Following our tour of Innsbruck, we went to Verona, a city where apparently Romeo and Juliet were from.
I thought Joseph touched her boob.
On the bus, our tour guide insisted that we role-played a bit. We role-played the entire storyline of Romeo and Juliet. I was the friar. So in the middle of role-playing, there was a part where, well, the scene of Romeo not getting Juliet quite yet, so he goes home. Jeff insisted that he goes home and cries about it, but Michaela straight up told him,
"Don't be a pussy."
So when we arrived in Verona, we toured it real quick and we saw a statue of Juliet where people were encouraged to touch the statue's right breast. Also in Verona, there was a gum wall, similar to the gum wall in San Luis Obispo. I put a piece of gum on the wall. The next day started with burnt bread. Someone burnt a piece of bread and it smelled pretty bad. It smelled like burnt bread. Sam, have you ever burnt your bread?
Occasionally.
We then took a bus ride to Venice. Obviously not to Venice because that would mean we would have to cross water. But we took a bus ride to a couple of boats, and the boats took us to Venice. Upon arriving to Venice, we were met with dabbing Mona Lisas. There was dabbing Mona Lisas on the shirts. And
Did you
also...
buy one?
No, Sam, I did not buy one.
Dude, I would rock that shirt.
There was also Albert Einstein's with a six-pack and tattoos. The first thing we did in Venice was we saw a glass blowing demonstration. Here's a video of that.
It looks difficult, but it's extremely difficult.
Mariana Torres, the one who was caught with something at the airport, the criminal basically, she was gifted a unicorn that was made as a product of the glass blowing, which is pretty cool. Following that, we toured Venice. We got on a gondola.
Is that the thing in the water?
Yeah, that's the thing in the water.
Yeah, I remember that.
Good, because I don't. We took the best picture Italy has ever seen, which, well, Helena took that picture. Our driver of the gondola, or the gondolier, or whatever you call him, he was on his phone the entire time, and he kept yelling potato, which I was confused at first, but then I thought, hey, potato! We played some French music, which was probably confusing to the Italians, because they were like, yo, this is French, not Italian. When we got off the gondola, we were met with a bunch of pigeons. In the square in front of a church. What better to do with pigeons than kick them? Helena started kicking pigeons and I thought, why not? And I just consumed. I didn't kick a pigeon, but I kicked the floor and it scared the pigeon, and here's a video of that. We toured St. Mark's Basilica. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, but we toured it. The only thing is we got trapped and we didn't know how to get out, so we were running around and just running in circles basically because we didn't know how to escape. We were in the prison basically, and we were basically trapped in prison. Free ASAP Rocky. Sam, have you ever been trapped in a prison before?
Occasionally.
And it was at this point where I realized that Hunter Long she was in Venice at the time we were, but she was too selfish to tell us that she was in Venice at the same time. What a... Sam, I don't think Jeff Long would be okay with you saying...
Jeff Long, I like that guy. That's a nice guy. Jeff Long, that's the guy you want to be. Jeff Long.
We stand, even though Hunter Long says, "Stay away from my father." Now it's time that a lot of us have been waiting for. It's the designated gut shot time. We're gonna take a quick break here just to have some... Woo! So without further ado, designated gut shot time. day, we left for Switzerland, but we couldn't do so without stopping in some place that was actually interesting instead of seeing trees for miles. So we stopped at Sirmione. Best place, I think, of the entire trip that we visited. When we got to Sirmione, we rode a boat around. Here's a video of that. And afterwards, when you're on the boat, what I thought was pretty interesting was the boat went from like sicko no to like sicko mode in like the span of 30 seconds. And here's a video of that. So in Sirmione, there was gelato all over the place, basically, from every corner you could imagine. There was just, from every flavor you could imagine as well. There was like Nutella and Smurf flavored, just to name a few.
Papa Smurf.
It was here where we also met the old man in a kayak. He was shirtless and he was almost naked, discounting a Speedo he was wearing. That track is coming soon. We're gonna record Old Man in a Kayak, so keep up with that. Hopefully it's gonna get a Sam Bland feature, that would be nice.
Hey, step into me for clap, kid Josh.
Okay, so we arrived at the hotel. The ride was about overall 5 hours to get to Switzerland. But when we finally got there, it was pretty cloudy. And afterwards, when we actually arrived to the hotel, Kayla, our tour guide, was quick to tell us the details about the hotel and the strict rules they had. One of the strictest rules they had was no smileys on the shower walls. And I thought this was outrageous at first, until I realized that they were talking about excrement and urine. We couldn't poop on the walls or pee on the walls.
Could you fart on the walls?
Overall, though, the hotel was very big. There was a big room. So it was 300 euros that we had to pay if we, like,
Sharted on the wall.
pooped on the wall or peed on the wall. Sam Bland, have you ever pooped or peed on the wall?
Occasionally. Just can't do it all the time. It's a hobby.
Okay, following that day, we went to Lucerne, which was pretty amazing. There was a lion statue thingamajigger. So apparently, Elijah had got scared. Someone said ooga booga, and he got scared to the point where he backstepped and fell in the water. Honestly, there were some coins in there. He should have. So in Lucerne, we saw a knife demo of Swiss Army knives. We also, at this point, saw other EF members from LA, I believe. They were alright. I'd rate the entire group about a 7 out of 10. So after this, we took a boat from like Lucerne to like closer to the Swiss Alps, kind of. And then once we got to like this mountain, we took a train like up a hill. Like it was literally a train up. Like, do you ever just take a train up? Sam Bland, do you ever take a train up?
Yes.
I thought we were going to heaven. When we got on the bus, it was pretty cloudy.
Oh my god, you can like see it coming in through the...
And when we were on the top of the Swiss Alps, Houchen thought it was a pretty good idea to throw a frisbee up there.
No.
When we came down, we were met quickly with a sicko no fall. There was a, I guess they called it a gondola that we were in. It was going down and it went down pretty quickly, and people were like crazy, like they got pretty scared. Nathan Severance, specifically, he got scared. He said he went into flight or fight mode or fight or flight mode once that thing went down. But then he went on a second, smaller gondola down.
I would kill myself. I would sooner kill myself.
Once we went down, it started to clear up, which was amazing because we actually got to see stuff. We saw a little boy on a tricycle on top of his complex, his Golgi app on top of the roof of his house, which I had never seen before. We were pretty scared of the gondola overall. It was pretty scary. The following day, we left for fried burger or something like that. But on our way over there, we spent about 2 seconds in France, which was pretty cool. We obviously didn't see much, but we saw France. We were in France. Shout out to Madame Cassi. I made it to France. When you arrived in Friedberg, or Fried Burger, or Fried Burger, or Fried Booger, or Fried Boogie, we saw a library, and there was free bathrooms in there because in Europe, bathrooms aren't just handed out to you. But when you walked outside the library, there was a couple of girls aged about the right drinking age, about 4. They were getting wet outside the library. There was little ponds that our tour guide told us that if we wanted good luck or if we wanted to fall in love or something, that we should get ourselves wet in that water. Well, those girls were 4 years old and dipping themselves in that water, and following that, apparently they just started removing their clothes and just started running off like children, and they were children.
Here's a video of that here.
No, we do not have a video of that. If we did, I'd probably be arrested by now. In a foreign country, like A$AP Rocky. Free A$AP Rocky! Following that, we visited a castle, and it was alright, rated about a 5 out of 10. After that, we took a bus down to the city of Heidelberg. In Heidelberg, there were many fountains, and because earlier in the Swiss Alps, you could do fountains. In Switzerland, you could drink from the fountains there because the water comes straight from the Swiss Alps. Nathan Severance thought it was a good idea to get the water from this town too. So Nate Severance, he got some water for us, and me, Katie Padden, and Grace Padden just chugged down his water bottle because we're like, yo, we're kind of thirsty. So we kind of chugged down his water. Next thing we know, there's a sign next to the fountain that says you can't drink that water. So we literally thought we were gonna die at that moment. Helena Bolle, she was saved. She was about to drink the water, then she noticed the sign. Sam, have you ever drank intoxicated water?
Yes. At a church.
Sam, did you drink intoxicated water at your church?
No.
So this, sadly, was our last day in Europe, in Switzerland. This, sadly, was our last day in Germany and in Europe overall, technically, because we were supposed to leave the next day. It was our last day with Morik. Morik was our bus driver. He was very special to all of us, and here's a celebration quickly for Morik. So this night, we were met with an altercation between Everick and his arm. Everick dislocated his arm. He pretended to have some sort of seizure.
Should I demonstrate?
He ended up on the ground, and on his way up to get back up onto his bed, he dislocated his arm.
Bummer.
And it was sad because that was our last night in there. And we called Houchin up. I thought he was playing, but he was serious. So, unfortunately, we had to wake up Michaela, our tour guide. Everick, Houchin, and Michaela rode a taxi to a German hospital. I wasn't with them. But apparently, the emergency room was on the top floor. Meaning that if I were dying, I would have to wait for the top floor to get emergency help. I'm moving to Germany. Okay, so that following day was our last day. We took a flight from Frankfurt, Germany to Montreal, Canada, then from Montreal, Canada to Los Angeles. I can't really say much about the flights because we were all tired, but there was some tears shed. I can say that.
Yeah, I can totally relate to that.
Now it's time for the last part of the video.
Anika Gutschall time again.
Designated Anika Gutschall time right now. so I can say this is the end of the. I want to give a shout out to all the EF. You guys made the trip unbelievable. I want to give a shout out to Taylor Ward for music. She made a playlist for me, even though she just recently named it a different name. She still gave me a playlist to listen to. I want to thank the Whole Milk group chat for keeping me updated on the whereabouts of Anika Gutschall. I was in Italy, and you guys had texted me that Anika Gutschall was at the Mid-State Fair. So thank you for that.
Cowboy boots and a hat.
I want to thank Hunter Long.
Yeah, I'm gonna take my
I want to thank Hunter.
whole down the road.
I want to thank.
I'm gonna
I want to thank.
ride
I want to thank.
till I can't no more.
I want to thank Hunter Long for not telling me she was in Venice until afterwards. At the point which it was too late to actually meet up because it started raining that day. But thank you for telling me that way too late. Philadelphia is a city, not a state. I want to thank Mr. Houchin for taking us on the trip, but also complying with our pranks, and for just being awesome.
Taking Everett to the hospital.
Taking Everett to the hospital. I want to thank Sam Bland for being there the entire time. I didn't get any footage of him in Europe, but he was there. I want to thank Michaela. She was an awesome tour guide. We already celebrated Mauric, but one more shout out to Mauric. Pretty soon, there should be a GoFundMe out there to send the entire EF to Poland. We're gonna not view anything but Mauric's house.
In Auschwitz.
Another shout out to Hello Quest. You should check them out. They're a YouTube channel. Lastly, Sam, do you have any shout outs?
I like to shout out my cat, that's dying because I forgot to feed it this morning. And Mr. Dodge. That's it.
What about Mr. Deichler?
I passed his AP exam, so that's good. That's props. Props to him. But not to Miss Gutschall because I didn't pass. But also, if you want to subscribe to my YouTube channel, even though this guy has no subscribers, do it because that's why I'm here, for the cloud. I'm for Josh's cloud, not mine. That's how humble I am. Are they drugs or what?
Doors open at 6:30, show starts at 7. That's it. Hi.
Come on in, ladies.
Oh my goodness. This is so
It's fake.
Oh, she's so in there.
How long did you have to prepare this? This reminds me of like his cell, and he's got a Anybody else in there?
No, it's just me.
Hiding somebody?
No, it's okay.
Wow, that took a lot of effort.
So long.
I'm triple taping this door.
Halt, travelers! I am the guardian of the Temple of Dorito, and to find the treasure that ye seek, you must first find the brothers too. Though I advise you, tread lightly, for the temple does not forgive those that arrive nightly. The brothers too live in spots that may seem natural, but when observed at first, they may not seem very factual. Good luck, travelers.
Okay, just so you know, you'll get charged euros if your furniture is askew in these rooms, right?
Askew.
Okay, I think I'm gonna take off my jumper. I don't want to make me.
Is this really your room?
With a hallway and a closet.
Oh man.
Big huge room.
This thing's gigantic. That looks like a body. What do you think?
I don't know. I think the body maybe. Let's see.
It is a body. We have a sighting of Josh. dirty sock. Wait a minute. The good thing is no snakes, no mosquitoes. Incredibly funny.